this tutorial I'm going to talk about how we handle stone, cobblestone and smoothstone for placement on the pyramid. As you can see, we have boxes lined up along the western wall of the pyramid, and the number of boxes is set up so that we have the right amount of stone out here, not too much, not too little, the right amount of stone for the masons to lay one full layer on the pyramid. So each box is numbered from left to right, and there are 20 boxes out here. So the porters come out and fill these boxes with smooth stone, and then the masons will come out to the pyramid and take smooth stone out of the box, starting at the first of the line, beginning of the line, the first box, and they'll go up and place stone back and forth along the pyramid until they run out, and then they'll come and down to the second box and take stone from that box, working their way from left to right. So the porters are bringing smooth stone out from left to right, and the masons are laying stone from left to right. So I'll take you into town now, and I'm going to show you how that stone is brought in as cobble, how it's handled, how it's processed, and then how it's shipped out here. This whole process is quite important to our organization, as it allows us to keep track of where we're at in our progress with the pyramid. We can take a look at these boxes and know exactly what percentage of the pyramid we have completed, just by seeing which boxes have stone and which boxes don't, which boxes have been laid. So order is very important in this system. So I'll take you down now into stone processing room, and you can see there's 20 boxes down here. Each box corresponds with the box on the pyramid. So I'm going to have a quick nap, and then we'll get to it. Okay, back to where we were. Stone processing. So 20 boxes down here match the 20 boxes on the pyramid. Each box is labeled. So cobblestone comes in from the mines and is placed in these boxes in the order that it comes in. So box 1 gets filled first, and then when that's full, the porters are filling up these boxes. They then move on to box 2, and then when that's full, they fill box 3, and so on down the line. And it's in a bit of a serpentine fashion as it swings back around. Box 7, box 8, box 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Box 15 is here, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And when box 20 is full, they repeat the process by, again, filling up box 1. So porters are bringing cobblestone in and placing it in these boxes. And what porters do is they need to keep track of which boxes they're filling up. And as they fill these up, they use a green marker to keep track of the last box that they filled with cobblestone. So here we have a box that's almost full, and if a porter were to come in and bring some cobblestone in, here's a shipment of cobble. Porters come in with the cobblestone, place it in the green box, and that's full. They move on to the next box, fill it up, and they need to keep track of the last box that they filled cobble in, because they don't want to come down and have to search through the boxes to see where they left off and try to remember. And there are several porters on the server, so if they're not communicating with each other verbally, there's no way for them to know where the last porter put the last amount of cobble. So we have a tracking system for that, and that's using this green flag. So with this green flag, a porter can go, okay, this is the last box I added cobble to, so the next porter knows that's where they're supposed to add cobble to. Now masons will come in and they take cobble out of here, and they would start at box 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And they want to take cobble out and cook it in these furnaces over here. And this is the cobblestone furnaces. So I'll show you that now. This video is sort of for masons as well as it is for porters because it's a shared system. So when a mason comes in and wants to grab cobble and cook it up, they grab an entire box at a time. We always move and cook stone one box at a time. We stick to that system because if you start moving half boxes, it starts to get confusing as to who's doing what, whether it's being cooked or whether it's being ported, whether it's new cobble or old cobble. So we always do one full chest at a time, and in order to do that you need an empty inventory. So masons and porters, when they're portering or cooking stone, it's always one full chest at a time. So a mason would come in, and I'll explain why I took it from that box in a minute. They would come in, grab the cobble, and take it into the cobble furnaces. And here we have 3 rows of 9 furnaces. And you'll notice that that matches the exact number of slots in your inventory. So that's going to be 1 stack per furnace. So we've got 27 stacks of cobble cooking. And that'll be smooth stone before we know it. Now, masons can actually do 2 rounds simultaneously, 2 chests simultaneously, if we have a supply of coal, which we do have, and they're using the coal furnaces. So they can have 2 boxes cooking at once. The important thing being is that they're always cooking a full box while they're cooking. So now I'll explain to you why I took it out of the box that I did. And the reason for that is because this box has the yellow flag on it. This is the mason's yellow flag, and that's their way of communicating with each other that this is the box that we are currently cooking. So the order is always important, and this is how they communicate with each other to let each other know this is what I was working on last. If I was a mason and I were to log off right now, and the other mason comes in and he wants to work on cooking stone, he would need to look to see, okay, yellow, it's empty, so there must be a load in the furnaces. Otherwise, he would go on to the next box. So the flag follows the active cooking boxes. And while that's cooking, I'll then talk about what happens when we have smooth stone. We don't have any right now, but the porters come in if they see that there is smooth stone for pickup. The light is turned on. There actually isn't at this moment, but it's because I had it turned on. And they would come down and they would look at the boxes, and rather than digging through all the boxes to see where there's smooth stone, they look to see, okay, here's the red flag, and that indicates the last box that the last porter took out to the pyramid. So what would happen in this case is if there was more smooth stone already cooked, the yellow flag was further up the line. A porter would know that, okay, this should be empty, which it is, and then there would be smooth stone in here, which there will be shortly once I pull that from the furnaces. And they could take this box of smooth stone out to the pyramid and put it in box 8. So that is how porters keep track of the last box that they ported out to the pyramid, by moving the red flag. So we've still got some stone cooking. Porters tend to move 5 loads of stone at a time. They'll set up a train here and then grab 5 chests and then move the red flag forward, the 5 boxes that they moved. Sometimes they can only move 2 or 3 if the masons don't have enough cooked for more. Sometimes they can do 4 chest carts and a personal inventory full of smooth stone, and if there's more ready, they can come back and do another load. So while that's cooking, I'll now take you out to the pyramid to show you the flag system out there. So here we are. And in the same way, it's important the order that the cobblestone comes into the stone processing room, the order that the stone gets processed, and then the order that it gets portered. It's also very important that this stuff gets brought out to the pyramid and placed in the appropriate boxes. So after we sleep, I'm going to show you how porters and masons keep track of where stone is. Okay, so I'm just going to steal a bit of food here because I'm hungry. So when porters bring smooth stone out, it comes in on a train and reaches the cargo line here. And what they do is they start filling up the boxes from the end. So essentially from left to right, box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they place a green flag at the last box that they filled up. So we know that we've got 7 boxes worth of smooth stone out here. And this stuff is all empty. So the masons know how much smooth stone's out here. If another porter were to bring another load of, if a different porter were to bring another load of smooth stone out here, that porter will then know where they're supposed to fill the boxes, beginning at box 8. Excuse me. So it's important that porters put this green flag down right here in front of the last box that they brought smooth stone out to. At the same time, masons are taking stone out of the boxes at the beginning. Excuse me. And they're taking it out of box 1, using it up, laying it down, laying it down, laying it down, and then they move on to box 2. So while masons are working, if they were to lay a couple boxes, then go offline at the mason's quarters here, the next mason comes on, he needs to know where did the last mason leave off. So the masons are able to tell each other where they last used stone by placing a red flag in front of their box. So this red flag can only go as far as the green flag. That's why it's important for masons when they're done laying stone to keep that flag current. Not necessarily every box, but when they're done working out here, it's a good idea to move it every 4 or 5 boxes. But definitely when they're done working out here, it's important to put that red flag in front of the last box that they've placed. So we can always have a sense of what our progress is based on looking at these flags. And by looking at those green flags, we can calculate actually what the total percentage of the pyramid is complete. So we'll head back now and we'll do a little stone cooking and then some portering just to show you. I'm acting as sort of both a mason and a porter in this tutorial, but it does apply to both positions, so it's important that all masons and porters are using this system. So a mason would come in, he wants to cook some stone. He says, okay, so that's in the furnaces already, I'll cook this up. Take it up to the furnaces, pull out what's in there. It's also important that when masons are refilling these furnaces with charcoal, that they're using a full 27 stacks of charcoal. Never fill up a partial stack or do a little bit of cooking in one furnace. This furnace system is strictly for full chests, using full loads of charcoal for stone for the pyramid only. Masons use their personal or their professional furnaces in their lodge for small cooking jobs that aren't for the pyramid. So this is the Smoothstone that came out of this box. It goes back in. The mason would put this stuff back in here and update the yellow flag to say to the next porter, or anybody coming along, a porter coming along might want to know how far along the masons are, say that's the box that's being worked on, cooked right now. And then they would turn this lever on. If it's off, a porter's going to say, okay, there's nothing for me to pick up down here. If a mason comes in, he's cooked some, throws it on, porter can come down, porter can come in and see, okay, I've got to go take some Smoothstone out to the pyramid. So a porter would come in, take a look, okay, that was the last box. Judging by the red flag, that's the last box taken out to the pyramid. So I must be able to take this box out to the pyramid. And the mason would do, the porter would do that. He would take the box. Might as well update the flag while we're at it. This is, because I'm only going to take the one out. Normally they'll take 4 or 5 out by train, but in this case, we'll just do one. So a mason would take, a porter would take Smoothstone out. Masons don't transport stone. Porter takes the Smoothstone out. And again, they normally do these by train. So a porter would bring the Smoothstone out and go, okay, well this was the last box that was full. And they would fill this box up. Then, also important, to grab a green flag. If they don't grab a green flag, and a mason uses up all that stone, the mason's going to stop at that green flag. They're not going to start digging through these boxes to see if there's more stone. And then what happens is the next porter comes on and may end up putting it into, or maybe a mason does move it, I don't know. Then a porter could come on and bring a shipment out and end up putting it in the wrong box, and then we end up with an incorrect look at how much we've completed the pyramid, as well as we'll end up with the wrong amount of stone out at the pyramid, and it screws up the whole system. So it doesn't take much. That's why this is in place. So it should be very easy for masons and porters to communicate with one another and each other to ensure that we've always got an accurate view of how we're doing with building the pyramid, and also the status on each box. So again, porters bring in the cobble, masons will cook it, not transport it, and update the yellow flags, and the porters do the shipping of the Smoothstone back out to the pyramid, using the red flag as their system of keeping track of that. And lastly, the green flag gets placed where they last delivered stone, and then the masons can go out and move the red flag as they're placing stone on the pyramid to keep track of what box they've last placed stone out of. So that's 2 systems in one, masons and porters sharing the stone system. Thanks very much.